this is bringing forth the idea that what about if the spiritual quest is done? What about if the spiritual journey, the healing journey is done? And right now you move into a space in time where you are whole and complete. It's a vibration and it's a different perspective and understanding of yourself.
Through unique sharings from amazing souls around the world that will help you feel more inner freedom, clear direction, and inner strength to do what you have come to do. Enthusiastically Spiritual's mission is to help inspire more enthusiasm for you to follow through with your heart's desires. If you are inspired by this podcast and would like to help support it, please feel free to follow the show notes that say, support this show. Thank you so much and enjoy this episode. Do you believe that we are all receiving help from the other side? How about from the galactic realm? Well, I do. I work with my team of spiritual helpers every single day and have connected with energies and beings from other realms throughout the years. My guest today has also, and she is here to share about accessing these energies for healing and living a more fulfilling and beautiful life. Her name is Rhiannon Heins. She is emerging as one of Australia's most sought after channels and energy healers. With a strong and grounded connection to the galactic realms, Rhiannon has channeled the Keepers of the Light Codes, a powerful text to assist humanity during these times of great change. She teaches a series of online trainings to students internationally, encouraging people to deeply heal and align with their intuition in order to live a more fulfilling and beautiful life. Welcome, Rhiannon.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for having me.
Oh,
so
it's
great
a pleasure.
To be here.
I'm so glad you're here too. So let's talk about spiritual help and galactic help on the other side. So how has that shown up in your life?
It's shown up in every way. But it definitely hasn't always been there. But I guess to start with, it started to emerge in my time of sort of despair, which came up really early in my early 20s. I just felt so disconnected. I felt so sad by the nature of life, having a job and a mortgage. And I was just asking for help. And I was praying a lot and I didn't know who I was praying to. And I would say sort of, this can't be it. Show me if there's more. And so to start with, I was getting that guidance in really like practical, tangible ways, being shown these like job opportunities that were just like galore on the internet, or having like a new man drop in, like, in the most beautiful, unexpected way. And I was just having these guidance opportunities showing up in my life, and I was starting to learn to trust and acknowledge them and act on them. So that was the start of that connection. And then the more I started to clear my mind and work through my own sort of baggage, my own trauma, my own pains, the more I started to open, my energy became more clear and open. And the more I was starting to receive that guidance in really subtle ways, the internal voice of the higher mind, subtle visuals. And then over the years, I got better and better at understanding these messages and interpreting them and putting them to use.
So, so the beings that you channel, because you do channel work, are those like, do you have specific, are they like Pleiadians, Arcturians, Sirius? I mean, who do you have a specific name for them, or?
Yeah, so I don't have I do have a specific name, but I never channel or hone in on one specific energy. So when I first started channeling, I felt very connected to the angels, and I would tune into specific angels by name. And I suppose these were names that I had already read of or been shown, and I was tuning into these energies. And then I realized that there was a limitation to that, right? Like, because when we're tuning into guides or angels, holy masters, galactic beings, whatever they are, we're really tuning into specific frequencies that exist within all of existence. So in tuning into one guide or one galactic being, it's like picking one frequency, right? So then what I've started to do now over the years of channeling and realizing this is I call forth my highest and brightest guides. I call forth my highest and brightest guides, and I feel them as an army, as a team. And within that team, there is a lot of galactic beings. So there's a lot of beings, but I wouldn't say that it's simply just the Palladians or the Arcturians. I would say that all of those beings of light show up in my highest and brightest team. I know that there is a lot of ancestral energy there, a lot of shamanic, really earthy energy there. And the beautiful thing about that is when I'm doing my work, whether it's writing or my energy work, I call forth my highest and brightest guides, and then I ask for the energy to flow through me that is needed for that specific work. And in the case of channeling my book, it was very, very galactic. But I wouldn't say that my guides are just galactic in nature.
A team. You got the team there, right?
The team, yeah, my team. We all have the team.
We all do have the team. It's just being able to tap into it. And so clearly you were at a place in your life where you were like asking for that. And that's really how simple it can be, right? Just asking guides, I need your help, or whatever you're praying to, or whatever, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's as soon as we set that intention, we ask from the heart. It's like a radar goes out, like boop, 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 and then we just get a swarm of divine energy ready to assist us. But it just starts with us first sending out that intention.
So is this something that you help people tap into or work with?
Yeah. So now my training is around teaching people how to be intuitive healers. So with a big focus on intuitive. So in my energy work method that I teach, it starts with being able to channel. So being able to tune into your client remotely and receive sort of a blueprint for how the energy work should go. And that way, when they show up for the session, it's done without any agenda of the ego, without any expectation. You just follow the blueprint, right?
Right.
So it's like I teach my students how to connect remotely and how to ask for those instructions for the highest good. So my students, the people who gravitate towards me, they always wonder, can I actually channel though? And they all can. They all have these light bulb moments where they're able to do it. Some of them receive the information in their body, like they know where the client is holding pain. Some of them get this real clairaudient message or vision. And we all can receive information. We can all channel and receive in our own unique way.
And so I know right now on the planet, we're on a huge awakening time frame. So are you finding that the people that gravitate towards you, are they like a specific type of person, or is it really like just all kinds of people are gravitating towards you?
It's all kinds of people, but it is my soul. It is my soul family. Whenever people that I've never met from all over the world, they come into the training, and it's like, whoom, there's instant resonance there, because that's the orchestration of this. Like I'm not everybody's teacher, but the people that come through, there's the need to be of service. And I think a lot of us have been on the spiritual path for a long time, looking at our own wounds, looking at our own patterns. And then it gets to a certain point where it's like, how can I turn my awareness outward to humanity and service? And the need for that is burning now for a lot of people. And I think that's why my work has really taken off in the last couple of years, because humanity is anchoring a new way of being, and it starts with a huge collective healing.
100% agree with you. So let's talk a little about your new book that just came out early October, The Keepers of the Light Codes. So what is that about?
Yes, it's coming out on the 1st of October. So this is a book that I channeled 100%, apart from the opening chapter. And as I mentioned, this book came through from the more galactic realms, right? So this book is really interesting for me, because as I was channeling it, I was challenged by the ideas. With each chapter that I channeled, I would sit and be like, I don't know about that. Because the book, the subtitle is A Channeled Guide to Ending Your Spiritual Quest. and initiating your mastery. So this is bringing forth the idea that, what about if the spiritual quest is done? What about if the spiritual journey, the healing journey is done? And right now you move into a space in time where you are whole and complete. It's a vibration, and it's a different perspective and understanding of yourself. And so what it is a series of lessons and initiations. So there's 9 lessons and 28 initiations. And each one sort of peels back or rewires or unplugs any resistance that we have to that idea. So there's like meditations and mantras and different practices throughout the entire text that rewire our understanding of self to step out of the linear time paradigm where we heal over a journey of 5 or 10 years, and step into the true nature of who we are, where we're done, we're complete now.
Amazing. And it happens like, well, these days it can happen on a dime if you have the right techniques, the right tools, whatever, you have in front of you, that like your beautiful book. So that can really like just turn people in and go, oh, this is exactly what I need, and ready to go. Right.
Yeah, that's it. And I think there's a very relaxing energy to the entire message, because as human beings, we're so cute, like we're so beautiful, we try so hard, right? We try so hard with everything to be better parents, to be more spiritually complete, to be, working in our purpose. We try so hard, and it's very tiring. And it can be very tiring. But the text, the channeling, it says, what about if you just come into your heart today and you just act today from the truest desire, the truest need of the heart? Then you will serve, then you will live in a space of absolute grace and ease and pleasure. And it's very relaxing.
It sounds like, and I can feel it from you. So, and I know now too, and like you said, in these most challenging times, finding love and power, like people are on a quest of how to find that. Do you have any answers to how to find that through the work that you do or the book during these most challenging times?
Yeah, I everything that I teach is what I've channeled, and sometimes I teach things that are still integrating myself, that I have to still remind myself day by day. So just know that as I say these things.
Of course.
But for me, it's the journey has been really inward, right? For us on our spiritual and healing path, the journey's been very inward, and that's so beautiful, coming inward. But now there is so much to process. If we're open, we're processing for the entire collective. It's pretty intense. It's pretty overwhelming on some days. So now I would say turn the focus outward, not to bypass this, because it will come up anyway, right? So turn the focus outward into service and ask for help. Keep me on my highest path. Show me how I can serve. Use me as a conduit for healing and the anchoring of heaven on earth. And turn your focus outward. And you'll be shown how you can serve. You'll be shown how you can assist. And you'll be kept on your highest path. And then in that, anything that is not in alignment with that will come up for healing anyway. You will not be able to deny your healing journey. You will not be able to deny your internal truths by turning your focus onto true service of others. And if you do that, I feel it just eases the suffering. It eases the suffering because you become focused on your mission. Like you, Teresa, with everything you're doing, like me with everything I'm doing, and probably so many of your listeners. When we focus on our mission, we have a force of energy that's behind us, and it makes everything easier. And so some people think that to turn your focus outwards and focus on your mission is to bypass the internal. But when you're doing the work that is true, your true heart service, there's no way you could bypass it. Everything will come up, because if you're committed to your authenticity and your true expression of your heart, you will not be able to deny anything that is in resistance to that.
Beautifully said. And I want to talk about the authenticity a bit, because to me, that's really what like the whole planet right now is, it's breaking open, like what's authentic, what is not. It's on the black and the white, there's really no gray right now. So really stepping into that authenticity and being the true light beings that we are, and expresses, vibrational expressions of who we are uniquely, is so important. So in the world of spirituality right now, there's a lot of people out there sharing. So Rhiannon, how did you find your authenticity and who you were? How did you really find, how to bring forth what your gifts are?
So I've had so many initiations in my life really rapidly to prepare me, I guess, to prepare me for now.
Uh-huh.
But when I was young, I had like a crippling fear of public speaking. I really wanted to be loved and really wanted lots of friends. Everything that, we suffer usually and have to go through. And the first job that initiated me into my role as a speaker was when I became a lecturer in remedial massage, like a lecturer in bodywork. And the unworthiness, who do I think I am to stand here and teach people? The pain of it was pretty overwhelming. And the first few lessons that I did were quite awful. But then the initiation just took place. I got better and better. I got confident. And then I stopped being embarrassed or self-conscious as I stood up in front of people, and I just started to speak about what I wanted them to know, what I knew they needed to know. And that was a huge initiation for me. And then I spent a lot of years as a yoga teacher as well. And that is also such a big initiation in learning how to be authentic, right? And my mum is also a yoga teacher. And I remember at the start, I said to my mum, I just really want my classes to be good, Mum. I really want people to like my classes. And she said, what people think of your classes, Rhiannon, is none of your business. And then I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it's none of your business. You teach from your heart. How you're received by them is their path, it's their journey. It's none of your business. So I remember that specifically because I was really wanting to do a good job. And in that, I was altering my behavior and I was altering my expression. But from that lesson, it was a pretty big one. Then I just thought, okay, well, if I just teach from my heart, it's going to impact someone, even one person, in the way that they need to be impacted. And whether people like me or think I'm good or think I'm bad is none of my business. And I think that is the key to teaching from authenticity, is to not care how you're received or perceived, because you're so committed to your true path, your highest path. That's the only goal.
I absolutely love that. Boy, what wisdom your mom had to give to you at that moment, like the perfect. That's just perfect. Yeah. And that's a hard one to like, it's none of your business. That is such a good lesson. Amazing.
Yeah. I got a lot of good ones from my mom.
The what?
I got a lot of good ones from my mom over the years.
Yeah. And if she's into yoga, and she's probably obviously very mindful and she's very open, and that's beautiful. Yeah. Did you find too, because for myself, I went to massage therapy school at 38 and now I'm 54. So that was my opening. Like that was my initiation, and like touching people and having that part, which I never had before. And it really opened me up. Did you find that too?
Yeah, I did. And my training was very like physical. Even when I lectured, it was in like more sports and remedial. It was very, very physical. And I remember like teaching all these techniques and watching the students become really like mechanical in it. And then it became clear to me, I had the realization that my best work, the work that was most impactful, even in the physical body, was when I just dropped everything and got so present with the body that it's like I just knew what the body needed. It's like I was merged with the body. And I was trying to teach this to my students, but it was just the wrong audience, right? They were young men who wanted to do this on like the rugby field.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And it was just the wrong audience. They just didn't care. And that was good as well for me to then move on. But that was that was a huge awakening for me, to realize that how deeply you can serve someone when you lose like the agenda and the expectations, and you just get so present with another body or another being that you feel them almost as they feel themselves.
especially energetically too, because that's one thing they didn't really talk about when I went to massage school. At the school that I went to, it was all too like mechanical, like deep tissue and structural integration, and they didn't talk at all about energy. And I was having these experiences happening where things were leaving bodies, and I would be overcome with with the emotion and crying and just weird things energetically that I just didn't understand at that time. So it was a huge awakening to to really understanding more about the energy body and as how that connects with the physical body and, all that kind of stuff. Did you find some of that too when you went through what, I mean, because you clearly didn't have the Swedish massage either, like I didn't either. So,
Yeah, I just found that I just stopped resonating with massage. I stopped resonating with body work. It was like there was a depth that I couldn't get to because the intention is so physical, body work and the expectation of the client is so physical. I found that they were coming and they were only willing to reveal so much of their truth, they were holding on. So I let go of the body work entirely and just started to work energetically, like still putting my hands on the body. But all of my work now, after a period of time, all of my work went into energy, into the power of presence, intention, asking for help, and allowing my body to be a conduit for whatever my client needed. And my body being a conduit, what I mean by that is picking up a drum or starting to sing or starting to move my hands in a certain way or starting to direct my client into a different position or a different movement to allow the energy to flow. So because I stopped limiting to myself to the series of techniques and touches that are available in massage, and I just allowed anything to be on the table, then what was achieved then was this beautiful, incredible depth and authenticity and release and initiation. Yeah. And now I feel that energy work is the is the only work that I will do for sure.
You've had that initiation through the physical. Now it's energy.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and to me, it's all stepping stones. I mean, because, it's just, it clearly got you to where you're at now, and it got me to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So it's like just a stepping stone of, I guess, like really understanding the different levels too, or the different bodies, emotional, mental, physical body. There's all these different realms. So it's just tapping into those and like you said, moving past it. Cause I'm not doing massage. I only did it for 7 years and I was totally done. And I knew I would never do it again this lifetime. So did you feel the same way?
Yeah, I was just so done with it. I was so done with it. And I felt that a lot of the clients that I was attracting had a lot of issues in their physical, and they come and they hand their body over to you. There's no self-responsibility in a lot of my clients. And it's like, why does my shoulder still hurt? It's like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing to help your shoulder? But when people come in for energy work, there's complete self-responsibility. Someone's coming to you and they know that it's their wounding, their stories that are holding them back. There's full self-responsibility. They're coming for help, but they're claiming it, they're owning it before they even walk through the door. But for me with the massage, what it really was above all else was it gave me permission. Like I wasn't super authentic or connected to my fullest expression of my purpose then. So having these steps laid out and this certificate gave me permission to start to explore my gifts. And that was the biggest piece that I think that gave me was the tick in the box to allow me to start to play with the true power of energy work.
And so I think that's the thing that's coming up for me is about how people oftentimes don't recognize what's coming. Sometimes it could be unexpected. Like you didn't expect it at some point to be doing channeling work and then to write a beautiful book that's been channeled. Right?
No, I did not. And I would have looked at someone doing what I do when I was younger and thought, wow, that's really cool. And I remember when I was younger, I used to look at people like yourself and I used to think, God, they're so sparkly. Like, how do they get so sparkly? And now I know it's what everything we spoke about. It's that openness, it's that connection to spirit, it's the authenticity, it's the love. And the thing that has allowed me to kind of like fast track, I think, to what I'm doing now with my channeling and my work is I've always said the mantra for a long time, keep me on my highest path, keep me in my truest truth, show me where I need to be. And then I give myself over all the time, like in my mind, in my heart, in my intention. I say, like, use me as a conduit for your divine mission for me, show me how I can serve. And in that, it happens really, really quickly.
When it's from your heart, because I can tell, Rhiannon, that it's from your heart. I can tell.
Thanks.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
can feel it. It's like, yeah, you're immersed, you're trusting, you're believing. And that's also another keys to, I'm sure people that come to you, well, I'm sure they're at a different place and they're ready to work with you, but it is trusting and knowing, like you said, they come to you and how do I do channeling work? Well, you have the tools and techniques to share with them how to embrace what they have already within them and then to make it happen.
Yeah, but as you say, spot on. It's trust is our biggest boundary, I think, to tapping into the energy that's available to us. It's trust. Once we get that piece, life gets fast tracked, I think.
I totally believe you too. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a believer too, for sure.
Yeah, it's just once we get the proof once or twice that if we make decisions from that guidance space, that life gets better. Once we get that proof once or twice, we just keep working and living that way, and then I feel like life spirals upwards.
Right, for sure. And also having like-minded community to also, bounce things off of and to connect with, and to know that we can talk about all these things without, anybody saying anything negative about it or not believing. It's like, yeah, like-minded people coming together. It's so crucial, especially in these days.
100%, 100%. I'm super lucky. Like my husband, he's probably like you, like he just understands. He just can hold the space for any conversation of this nature. And as I mentioned, my mom is like, a real light being. she's really like a human master in my life, I suppose. And then all my friends now are the same, because I just can't be in a space where it's not authentic anymore. I feel a contraction in the space, feel a contraction in my body. And all those kind of relationships and situations, they're all just fallen away now.
Without a doubt. And also it's a point where people are trying to find people like you and people like me that are like-minded, because it's true. Like it's to the point now that, yeah, there's no more bullshit. It's like, it's on. I mean, really, like, I'm sure it's always been on since we've been here, but it's really on now. And there's no turning back. We have to be with like-minded people. We have to be, doing our authentic work and showing up. And like you said, if it doesn't resonate, people will move on. They'll either resonate with you, they won't, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. It is speeding up for sure. But this is why your podcast is such a service, because not everybody has their tribe. Not everybody has their resonant people in their life yet. So like this, as an energy, as a frequency, this conversation, as someone's listening in their car right now, there's an energy, there's a frequency. And as that starts to land in people's bodies, then they start to emanate that frequency and call in their tribe that vibrates at that. So there's a familiarity to the vibration that people want to call in. That's why it's so beautiful what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. And as you say that, I could just, I'm so filled with enthusiasm. Yeah, because it is true, because a lot of the people that I interview and work with are all over the world. So, it's like you're in Australia, way down under Perth. That's really far. And and here I am in Iowa. It's just amazing that we can come together and share these beautiful messages and share the beautiful work that you're doing and having people find you. So let's talk a little bit about that, about how can people find you, and what do you have to offer, but besides this amazing, beautiful book, and of course your work with people, but I'd like you to share with them what you offer for them.
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, all of my work is focused on my teachings for healers and people who are ready to step into their role as healer. So that's called the Intuitive Rebirth Practitioner Training. So Intuitive Rebirth, because it's that's the name of the method, because there's the channeling aspect, the connecting aspect, and the rebirth, because there's usually a deep purging and a profound initiation, a death and a rebirth in this energy work. So yeah, that you can find online, rhiannonheins.com. And yeah, it's a really beautiful training where you're working through your own stuff as well. You're going on a rebirth journey as you learn the techniques and you learn how to take others through this work. Yeah, so that's rhiannonheins.com, or on my Instagram is all of the links as well. And yeah,
Which
my
will all
book as
be, it'll
well.
all be in the show notes, I promise. So, and also the
Yeah.
link to your beautiful new books, The Keepers of the Light Codes.
Yeah, and the Keepers of the Light Codes, it will be out on the 1st of October. Yeah.
It's out. Yes. Congratulations on that. That's a big endeavor.
Thank you. Well, the writing it was the easy bit for sure. I really enjoyed the writing. It's all
It's
the
just the
stuff that
rest of
comes
it.
after. Yeah.
It's all those other steps to get it to actually get published, right? It's like, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Rhiannon,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure having you on today. I thank you so much from the bottom of the beautiful world,
Thank you.
and sharing your lovely gifts and light in the world. And thank you for what you're doing. It's beautiful work.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. Right back to you as well. Thank you so much for having me.